Hey guys, Bite Size here. Thought I'd go with a little bit of a different style of video today. I wanted to look at the August trading post and give a kind of like brief rundown / review, just to give my thoughts on all the items on offer this month. The main ones being that we have two mounts, one traditionally Alliance, a Nightsaber, and one traditionally Horde, a Wolf, which I'll get to in a minute. But obviously, they've been like set up for the other faction, so this is a Horde cat and the Wolf is an Alliance Wolf. So we've got a description. Finding a litter of Nightsaber kittens, a squad of Corcoran Outriders train them into a formidable pack of deadly mounts. I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan anymore of Nightsaber mounts. I used to love them, but obviously we've had so many in the timeline of WoW. But I really like this mount. I think that the Horde armor actually, it fits a Nightsaber a lot better than I thought it would. I couldn't really imagine this before, but I think it looks really nice. The extra like details with the skulls, the spikes. Yeah, I just think really nice, really detailed, lovely texture quality. Looks really good. Really nice. This sort of battle axe blade on the tail as well. It's a really nice little extra. But let's get on to the Wolf, because I think this is the star of the show, I must admit. This looks amazing. I love how there's some little details that were maybe accidental, but I just love how the blue, the light blue eyes goes with the sort of light blue kind of contrasting color that's added to the armor. I love this sort of plumed feather back piece. I love the fact it's a sort of white grey wolf. I think that looks a lot better for the Alliance than it would be if it was like a black wolf, for example. Yeah, I just think overall, absolutely awesome mount. I think this is probably going to be a lot more popular than the Nightsaber. Go really well with a lot of transmogs as well, because you got the color palette of white, purple, and blue. And there's a lot of armor sets in the game. In fact, the one that I'm wearing on the character currently goes quite well with this, for example. So that works out nicely. And for the description for this mount, it's captured in a Sentinel raid. The loyalty of the wolf favors the strongest. Let's move over to two sets of weapons. Fireborn blades and Seaborn blades. Essentially, you've got a red version and a blue version. And then you've got like a plain version of one and another one that has a kind of animated effect. So this one has like a pulsing fire effect. And then this one's kind of got, it looks like a weapon enhancement. I can't quite remember which, but you've got this nice sort of green illuminating effect coming up it, which goes quite nicely with the blue, I think. And for the description for the Arsenal Fireborn blades, we have akin to the mystical Kel Serrar and forged by the Magesmith Luminarian. It was one of the prismatic blades. Interesting. And for the description for the Seaborn blades, we have forged by the Magesmith Luminarian. This blade was quenched in the enchanted pools of Lathar Lazal. Very nice. So then we have these hammers. And I really like these. I think these have a bit of an eye towards the new Earthen allied race that's coming with the War Within, because they will go absolutely perfectly with those. They've got the same kind of gemstones that are encrusted within the weapon that you also find in the actual Earthen models themselves. So it'll be really nice for people who are looking to play the new race. We've got this golden purple. This kind of gunmetal grey with red, which I think is my personal favourite. And then this lighter kind of silver with an amber coloured gem. The description for the Storm Riders Bronze Storm Hammers. Smack your enemies back in time with a heavy assault from this hammer. Brilliant description. For the Dark Storm Hammers, we have hammer your way into the heart of the darkest storms. Brilliant. Another great description. And I must admit, I think this is my favourite. As I said, I think this model, along with having an Earthen of similar colours, because you can get the kind of gunmetal grey skin colour with the red gems, I think that'll look pretty badass. And then the Silver Stormhammers, only the worthy Storm Riders may wield these weapons. little bit more boring compared to the others, I think. A companion pet next, and we have Wargly the Apprehensive. Maybe give up, maybe surrender. So he's got the kind of targeted shield, couple of arrows in it. He's got the white flag that he's ready to wave. Pretty cute, pretty nice little companion pet. Definitely worth 300 tender. So then we have two cosmetic back pieces. We have the wings of the Amethyst Monarch and the wings of the Tourmaline Monarch. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So we have, for the Amethyst Monarch, flutter your way onto the battlefield. Quite a nice color scheme here with the sort of violet purples going into more blues, royal blues, dark purple as a background, all within this silver border, which I think looks really nice, but this version I think pops. You've got the pinks, and it's mainly the gold framing. I think the gold frame just sets it apart for me. I think quite a lot of transmogs will suit both of these really nicely, but particularly the Tourmaline Monarch, which, as the description says, looking pretty fly. So then we move on to the Sapphire and Scarlet Axes of Asymmetry, which I'm not a huge fan of, I must admit. They kind of remind me of a model of an axe from a quest reward. I can't remember what expansion it was from. I feel like it was Warlords of Draenor. But yeah, I'm not too keen. The asymmetry is cool, but it wouldn't be very functional if you're looking at it from a realism standpoint. Yeah, I'm not that keen. Maybe there's some transmogs. You could have like an asymmetrical transmog with different shoulder pieces. Maybe that'd be a cool idea, but not really the best weapons for me. We have the Sapphire one with the description, not every weapon has to be perfectly balanced. Very nice. And the Scarlet one has the description, some would call the asymmetrical blades beautiful. I wouldn't. Moving on though to the Sapphire Shanker. The cool blue colours provide no relief to the person being stabbed. Wow. This is... it's quite nice. I like the glow, the sort of gems at the back and the runic symbol here. It kind of looks as if it's made of bark or leaves. It's quite hard to tell. I feel like the textures and resolution on this one aren't too brilliant. But I think the idea is it's kind of like thorny. You've got like this thorn at the end, and then you've got like leafy branch effect. I don't like... It's a bit nitpicky, but where my character is holding the actual hilt or haft, whatever you want to call it, of the blade, extremely close. Like you've got this really, really long hilt, and then your hand is right next to the blade, like propping it up. Not too keen on that. That might just be a night elf female thing, potentially. But yeah, I thought, as expected, if you've got some gloves that have any kind of sort of protruding elements, it's going to clip. Yeah, not my favorite, but it's quite unique. You could potentially come up with quite a good like nature rogue transmog with like night fae elements and stuff like that with this. But moving on to the Sapphire Warglaive. The blood of your enemies will stand out on the cool blue blades. This I do actually like, I must admit. I wasn't sure at first, but I really like how it's kind of, it's a bit like a reverse Blade Fist. Like there's the weapons from Kargath Blade Fist that come down really far. I like the way it comes back up. Like it's sort of like a reverse glaive. I think that will look extremely cool in combat. And the color scheme is very unique. You've got this like cyan teal mixed with this light green. Yeah, I wish the hilt was maybe a brown or something more natural than a red. But this is very unique. I think you can make some pretty cool transmogs with this if you're a demon hunter. And then we've got the Scarlet Shanker, which I'm assuming, yeah, it's just a red version of the aforementioned dagger. Quite cool, actually. I suppose the red is a little bit more prominent than the blue. I think the blue would be easier to make things like Nightfade transmogs around, but maybe this could be like an Emerald Nightmare transmog. That's actually a pretty cool idea. And then the Scarlet Warglaive again. Oh, wow. Okay. I thought this color scheme was cool. No, this one. Again, like, so this time the hilt actually matches the blade. It's not just a random color that sticks out. And yeah, wow, the sort of contrasting black, dark gray, red, and orange just looks like, it's like Molten Core vibes. It's like Blackrock Foundry vibes. It just looks like it's been forged in some kind of Iron Dwarf's like dream. Yeah, I really like this. I really like this. Onto the Sapphire Bladed Blunderbuss. Okay, I think this is a model that has been used before. I'm not sure where from. I think is it maybe like a TBC PvP weapon or something? I'm probably dead wrong, but I've certainly seen this model before. Textures, resolution on it is it's not brilliant. It's a little bit old looking. I feel like it could have been updated. But still quite a nice looking weapon, but I doubt you'll see too many hunters using these. And the Scarlet version obviously is going to be a red version, which I like how they've kept the light blue elements, because that actually like really pops against the red. But I think fairly old looking. I don't think these will be too popular. Oh, I forgot the descriptions for some of these too. For the Scarlet Shanker from earlier, it was the bold red colours are of little comfort to the person being stabbed, so same as the blue one. And the bright red blade hides the blood of your enemies almost too well. That one's nice. And then for these two blades, we have, or two blunderbusses. The blade should be used as a last resort. That would be cool if that was actually possible, I must admit. And if the blast doesn't fell your enemy, the blades at the end will certainly help. So, moving on now to wrist transmogs. The ruby-faced mobile timepiece. Oh wow, okay. So we've actually got like watches. It's like I think that's meant to be, is that like an old god eye on a watch? That's cool. The description reads, now you can look to your wrist and declare that you have to be somewhere else. I must admit, actually, like, this is cool. It's more, this feels Final Fantasy Glamour kind of vibes, where it's something that's strictly fashion, almost. But yeah, for people who don't want, like, combat armor transmogs, they want to have, like, the casual clothing look. Having these watches is going to be absolutely amazing, actually. So we've got a red version and a blue version. So we've got the sapphire-faced mobile timepiece as well. Description reads, now you have no excuse to not know what time it is. I think, personally, of the two, I probably prefer the blue one. I think it's a little bit more noticeable with the silver outer ring here. But yeah, really nice options, actually. Then we got the offhand, the Sunreaver's Scarlet Tome. Detailed arcane notes and diagrams can be found within this Sunreaver's Tome. Fairly traditional looking offhand. Don't really appreciate how it's clipping through my character, I must admit. Again, that could be a knight or female thing. But yeah, really high resolution on the book. Quite interesting how it's a blade across the handle. Again, the hand position is a little bit frustrating considering I'm stabbing myself. But yeah, quite nice looking. Very Horde centric, so I'm assuming this one will look a bit more Alliance. Yeah, nice blue there. Nice blue and silver. So this is the Sapphire Thalassian Tome, which reads, Thalassian runes carved upon the spine of the book serve as an arcane lock, protecting the contents of this book. So 2 nice offhand options there. Then we've got this Trader's Azure Sarong leg transmog, a favourite when trading in the southern jungles. I think we've had, or I feel like we've had a lot of these recently. I'm assuming this is probably just a different colour. Looks okay. I kind of like how they've tried to implement a 3D element with the sort of ruffles here at the bottom, but it's one of those fake 3D elements that you saw a lot in early WoW, particularly in like vanilla WoW, which it's like one of them things, if you glance at it, it looks cool, but if you stare at it and move it around and you realize that it's just like painted on fake 3D, it's not the best. But a nice little color option for people who are making these kind of like sarong summary transmogs. Again, the another piece that I think we've been seeing a lot recently. I'm assuming these are all just different colors. But this is the Jeweler's Azure Shoulder Cape. A favourite of swashbucklers, a shoulder could be discarded to leave a sword arm free for boarding. Okay, that's pretty cool. And there's a red version as well, the Jeweler's Crimson Shoulder Cape, which has the exact same description actually. Then we've got the Conjurer's Sapphire Staff, classic staff from a simpler time. I like that. Description obviously hinting towards the fact that this is a model from classic WoW and a simpler time, so to speak. Yeah, it's, again, if you want to make like a kind of old school classic WoW mage style transmog, nice little extra thing to have. And then a red version, the Conjurer's Scarlet Staff. Again, same description. And then 2 wands, the simple Sapphire Wand and the simple Scarlet Wand, which again, classic WoW models, a simple wand with a touch of Sapphire and a simple wand with a touch of Scarlet. Don't see any of these really getting too much use, but yeah, for people who like to go for old school, classic looking transmogs, nice little options. And so then we've got the returning items, where we've got the Hearthsteed recolor, the Cindermane Charger, which I think was on the trading post last year sometime. It's not my favourite model of mount, I must admit, but I think that this colour scheme suits it a lot more than the original Hearthsteed. I think particularly if you're a Dark-Iron Dwarf or something, it'd look particularly good. But yeah, it's a decent little mount. Like I say, it's not one of my favourites, but I must admit these fiery wings do look really, really good. And the description for this mount is formed by Ragnaros himself as a gift for the daughter he never had. Quite a deep description, actually. But then moving on to the Ethereal Transmogrifier, which I think is probably a must-have, I think. It's, for a start, I mean, as a toy goes, this looks pretty cool, because you're basically summoning an NPC. But not only that, but this guy lets you transmog your gear, and it's only on a 10-minute cooldown, so if you're ever in a situation where, you know, you're indoors somewhere, you can't use your Grand Expedition Yak, yeah, just get your Ethereal Transmogrifier out. And the description for this one reads, "There's never a bad time to make sure you look the part." True. Very true. For some reason, the Storm Rider's hammers from earlier on are also in here. Although actually, just noticed you get this glowing lightning effect. Do you get that on the other ones? You do. I didn't look at these. Okay. So there's like a, obviously matching the color of the gems, you also get these little lightning effects, which are really nice. And this one, so this one's a different, oh no, this one's the purple one, but it has a blue effect. Slightly confusing, but yeah, I guess if you want all of these, all the different colors, all the different glowing animations, then you got to pick them all up, I guess. So this one reads, "The weapons of a Storm Rider are renowned across Azeroth, with many mastering the power of the storm itself." But then we'll move on to the Blade Master's Crimson Stones, which are another one of these chest pieces where it's essentially really, really big beads around the neck, but the unique part is that they leave your chest exposed. So this is actually a chest transmog piece. It's interesting. You could argue it should be a head transmog, but yeah, it's a chest transmog, leaves the chest exposed. That's kind of the unique vibe of it. The sort of unique selling point for making different transmogs. This one in particular is red and gold, which I think is a nice color combination. Should go with loads of other gear. And the description for this one reads, "The blood of Samuro's foes blend well with these stones." And then we've got the same thing, presumably in blue. Yep. And the description for this one reads, "Stones won by Jubei in the Third War." I think color-wise, I'd say the red and gold is better here. Onto another sarong. So similar to earlier, but again, another color, something that you might want to collect all of them. Seems to be a lot of them in the past couple of months. A favorite when trading in southern jungles is the description. I believe that's the same as earlier on. Then the ensemble Wanderer's Azure trappings. So we've got a scarf and a cloak. I think the scarf is actually quite nice. It sort of looks a little bit like a bandit mask that's been pulled down from the face. The cloak is fairly basic, but as you'd expect by design, it matches perfectly into the cloak, into the scarf, sorry. And I do really like this kind of sort of light blue color, kind of a nice sky blue. Yeah, quite a big fan of that. And then a little bit further down, there's the crimson one, which, yeah, sort of Little Red Riding Hood vibes in this color, I must admit. Yeah, but obviously good to have options. You got blue versus red, so Alliance versus Horde vibes if you want to look at it that way. And the description for both of them is just includes a scarf and a cloak, so pretty basic there. Then we've got the ensemble Vagabond's Azure or Crimson Threads, so more or less the same thing, but with a tattered cape design and a hood rather than a little scarf. I think these probably have more potential transmog wise, especially for rogues and excuse me, rogues and hunters immediately come to mind. Any class as particularly the elven races. But yeah, I think quite a bit of potential here with these. If you're going for kind of like a simplistic sort of thief or, as it says, vagabond kind of appearance. Yeah, quite a lot of potential there with these, I think. Again, the description reads, includes a hood and a cloak. So then we've got the Grunt's Buckler and the City Guard Heater Shield, which are essentially just an alliance, a very basic Horde shield and a very basic alliance shield. Or the description for the Grunt's Buckler, we have a sword and board for the Horde, which I like that one. And the description for the Alliance version, we have leftover from a volunteer guard day promotion. I think in terms of the design, I have to prefer the Alliance one, just because it's a bigger shield. I love the way, like, look how the light reflects. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's like some slightly new tech, but I feel like most items aren't that reflective and have that good a way of interacting with light, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, obviously with both of these you can make some pretty good Alliance and Horde transmogs, so decent little additions to have. And the Celestial Steed is another returning item. I think I'm probably wrong, but I feel like this used to be a store mount. Maybe it even still is. I'm not entirely sure on that one. It could be from an achievement. But yeah, not a bad looking mount at all. Obviously, there's quite a lot of Celestial mounts, so if you haven't got this one and you want to add it to your collection, makes total sense. I think that the sort of magical permeating arcane almost effect going all the way through the armor across the head and the body, it goes really nice with this sort of celestial theme. Yeah, I quite like it. I've already bought this one, or I already own this one, so it's not going to be a pickup for me, but Can imagine most people getting this one just to at least have it, although I doubt it's going to see too much use with the some of the caliber of mounts that we've got in the game nowadays. It doesn't really stack up, but yeah, that's my little review for this this month's trading post. I should be back with another one next month. I think if I had to pick one item that I would say, if you're not going to play that much, you've only got enough tender to buy one, it would without doubt be this Sentinel Warwolf. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. If the game would actually let me, there we go. Yeah, I think this one's brilliant. There's something about this model of wolf in general looks fantastic, but then when you put like Alliance Night Elf looking armor on top of it in this color scheme, yeah, I don't know. This is a really, really nice mount, a really, really nicely done mount. So that is my top recommendation for this month. If you disagree or agree, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.